Hello, and welcome to Replay Value. I have talked around this OP a lot over the course of the analysis series up to this point, and so it's with great relief that we've actually reached the halfway point in terms of episodes, giving us a nice break in between arcs. Pool episode already covered, and moving on to the final element of Hyouka's first half that we'll be leaving behind that I need to talk about. Hyouka's first OP, Reason for Kindness, is chock full of great symbolism, and instead of wasting your time with a lengthy intro, it's best if we just start chatting about it. We open up on a silhouette of Houtarou that is revealed with ripples. Ripples are one of two major motifs throughout this OP, and as we've seen in previous episodes, symbolize change. In this case though, the change is simple and slow. These two shots only feature 3 points from which the ripples are emanating from, and the only change they produce besides their rippling is this blue tint. It's clear that the white and black two-tone is the embodiment of a gray life, and this blue that replaces it is the beginning steps towards a more colorful existence. It's not a huge move towards it, the shots are still two-tone, and between the cuts, Houtarou reverts to just a black silhouette. The blue serves as a primer to the other major motif that we'll be seeing throughout the OP, the sky, and could be playing double duty to represent blue ink, since over these shots is this slight paper grain effect, which seems like an allusion to the original paper printed novels. We cut to Hotarou's textbook where some kanji flies off the page, producing more ripples as it makes its way past Houtarou, lighting him up again and heading out towards the open window. The kanji represents the word rose, which backs up this energetic movement, creating tons of complex and overlapping ripples across the screen. It flies out into the sky, Houtarou entranced as it does so, and as it disappears into the air, we zoom way out from the high school, and the floodgates of color open in ripples. The world has come to life in color, leaving the black and white paper behind, and our title appearing as we cut through the city. The next shots continue to use the ripples through properly desaturated scenes, bringing color to our main characters and as a zoom/double exposure effect. The shot with Mayaka is my favorite of the bunch. In the previous shot, Satoshi's zoom focus was aligned left, but looking right. If you move with his eyes, you'll spot Houtarou and Satoshi walking up, before your eyes are naturally drawn to the ripples and the colors in the left. And if you stay to the left, you'll notice the ripples, and as Mayaka moves to the right, so will your eyes, bringing you to Houtarou and Satoshi's movement, because they're larger in frame until Mayaka gets the zoom ripple. While Houtarou and Satoshi aren't in the ripples initially, as they walk towards her, they're making their way back into color. And the following shot with Chitanda makes great use of space, starting us off in the bottom right corner, before the left side lights up, and using a double exposure of Chitanda facing back at them more towards the middle. It fills up most of the screen with ripples, which transitions us nicely back into full color in the following shot. The light gradient on the following shot pulls your eyes to the table if the motion and previous shot composition wasn't enough to do that already. As our three Rose characters argue excitedly, Houtarou takes a look outside to see the sun poking out behind some clouds. It's not a clear sky. There's no indication of whether things are going to get brighter or darker. And as we get the reverse shot, we see Chitanda's hand moving excitedly and Houtarou looking out solemnly, the window frame providing a barrier between these two, as our eyes are drawn to the reflection of the sun in the glass. We quickly cut through shots of normal high school life before making our way to Houtarou walking in the rain. This is the gray life. But even as Houtarou is alone in his element, he can't help but be pestered by these flickering bright after images of his friends, bringing light to shadow and balancing out the images. Houtarou on one side and them on the other. The last shot is especially telling as they balance him out, and Chitanda's eyes and his almost overlap. His friends are the light in the darkness, like during the OVA, and are crucial to his journey of self-discovery. This brings us to the climax of the OP from a narrative perspective. Houtarou steps onto a water-covered surface, causing ripples in the gray tones as he moves before stopping. He looks up to see that the sun has cleared the gray clouds, and with a slightly annoyed glance, a massive ripple emanates from his feet, turning the gray reflection into a bright blue one, making the clouds disappear. The sky now open, a rose-colored life before him. Houtarou looks out to the endless horizon of blue and white. It won't always be a cloudless, bright day, but there will be plenty of those moments too. Houtarou seemingly accepts this, standing still with his closed umbrella reflected still in the water beneath him. It's a very serene moment, one that while starting with the importance of Houtarou slowly moves away from him until he's just a figure off center, and the immensity of the world before him becomes the focus. And the next shot of the clouds and blue sky reflecting off of his eyes show us that there's so much more to see and do here. The world has opened up before him, and he doesn't blink nor move. From there we blast through images of our characters enjoying a rose-colored life, Chitanda pulling Houtarou into a mystery, the four of them hanging out and enjoying themselves. And as the song comes to its conclusion, we cut to 3 pink flowers growing out of a crack in the sidewalk. This literal embodiment of a rose-colored life comes from seemingly infertile ground, but it's growing all the same. Houtarou, the only one to notice it, and the person who finds himself in that same position, is called to by his 3 rose-colored friends, and turning away from the flowers who represent them, he walks forward, as we pan up to the bright sun in a beautiful blue sky with a few subtle gray clouds. Hyouka's first OP does a lot of great stuff between its use of ripples to show change and equating a blue sky with a rose-colored life, which in turn allows for gray and rain to play the counterbalance. The OP also has great storyboarding to keep the shots engaging and to allow them to flow well from one to the next. It doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know, either from a narrative or symbolic perspective, but it does encapsulate those elements really well. Houtarou is making his way towards a rose-colored life, but that doesn't mean it's ideal all the time. And it's only because of his friends that this otherwise infertile ground has found itself populated by 3 examples of rose-colored life. Reason for Kindness is also really good. And on a pure editing level, the visuals are well cut to match the song. All in all, the first Hyouka OP is a strong piece that gets to the heart of the show, and I think embodies the journey in a beautiful way. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and comment with your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and follow me on Twitter for my live analyses and future projects. Link in the description. We'll be back real soon with another video, but until then, thanks for watching.